Future, nobody has seen it, right? But we can definitely predict future by looking at the current trends. But hey, there is always something revolutionary which comes by and changes the speed of innovation in any field. We call it as general purpose technologies, right? And given the advent of artificial intelligence in today's era, we are going to see a complete 360-degree transformation in the kind of companies which will exist in the next 10 years in the biotech and pharma industry. Now, that is where newer type of biotech companies can come up. Probably you guys can start, and newer ways of treating diseases, newer ways of approaching to problems will exist. Now, having said that, first let's dive in and check what kind of companies exist in today's biotech and pharma sector. Now, it's very simple. Now, mostly biotech companies, the bigger ones are biopharmaceutical companies, biopharma companies which are using biotech to treat diseases, right? Like Biocon, like Pfizer, you have Moderna. So these are companies, biopharmaceutical companies, which are using the pharma biotech ideas and applying it to treat diseases. Very simple. So, but if you ask me, these companies were successful because they could commercialize faster, but you can't really call them a hardcore biotech company because there is much more which will happen in the future. Today's biotech companies are going to be basically, you can treat it as ABCD of biotech. That's what today's companies are doing. But in the future, things are going to change, and I'm going to highlight and unveil all that to you in today's video. Now, another type of companies which we see today is medical device information companies or medical device companies. Now, even Apple is a medical device company. So what these companies do is they sell medical devices. So basically, they develop the device in US and manufacture in China and sell it across the globe. So Apple has got Apple Watch, even that's a biomedical device. You have these pacemakers, they are biomedical devices. So these are the companies which exist today. However, this is going to change. Now, today, we also see a lot of agri-biotech companies. Of course, agri-biotech is always going to be there. But in fact, all these companies will be there, but newer type of companies are going to come up. Let me tell you what type of companies are existing in today's world. So agri-biotech, where we are creating hybrid seeds, we are creating pest-resistant crops. All that is happening in agri-biotech sector. Now, let's move on to the next type of company which we have today, and those are called as industrial biotech companies. Now, what are industrial biotech companies? So they are generating biofuels, bioplastic, and they are catering back to the industry. So that's your industrial biotech companies. There are various companies which are into this. Then you have CROs, that is contract research organizations like Syngene, which does a lot of research on behalf of other biotech and pharma companies. Then you have allied biotech sector, which supplies the bio supplies to the sector like chemicals, reagent and antibodies and all that stuff. So that's, biotech tools and supplies companies we have. And then we also are seeing a bit of personalized medicine, regenerative medicine companies. And then we are also seeing some very rare but nano biotech companies, and hardly one or two marine biotech companies we are seeing, right? Like C6 Energy. Now, if you ask me, will these companies exist in future? The answer is yes. But newer type of companies are going to come up apart from these. So it's like, you go to a hotel and they had a fixed set of menu, but suddenly with the advent of artificial intelligence and newer technologies, newer type of dishes are there. So that's what future biotech companies are going to be. Now, the first thing which comes in my mind is synthetic biology companies. Companies focus on engineering biological systems outside the body, creating organs outside the body. One place I read a research paper where they were planning to grow buildings out of, biotech. So, self-sustaining, self-maintaining, self-repairing buildings based on synthetic biology. Then you have bees for pollination. So there'll be, if the farmer wants to pollinate, he'll have drone bees which can pollinate so these are synthetic biology applications. Then you have gene editing companies which you'll have. Of course, we are seeing right now, you have CRISPR Therapeutics and Editas. So many more such companies will come up in the future. Gene editing companies are going to be there in the future. First and biggest will be synthetic biology. No doubt about it. This is a very new category. Second will be the gene editing companies. The next will be microbiome companies. So now, as you know, microbiome, our body has got a lot of good bacteria as well as bad bacteria. So we will enhance the good bacteria inside our body, and that will further enhance, improve our well-being and our agility. So that's microbiome company. In fact, a lot of FMCG companies are getting into microbiota, and that's a great place. Now, a newer category of companies which I am seeing, which is coming up, is your neurotech companies, where they are trying to bridge the barrier in between a brain and a computer. So like right now I have to use a mouse to control the computer. In future, probably I'll just control it with my brain. So brain waves completely synced with my Gmail or whatever, and I'll be able to do it. So that's neurotech companies, wherein you have Neuralink and various other companies who are highly successful now. Now, again, we are also seeing right now also advent of a lot of digital data, health tech data. So for example, at any point in time in future, we'll have real-time data of how many people had blood glucose level higher than the normal level in real time in India, right? We don't have that right now. So what if we had that kind of data? So that's a digital health companies which we are seeing coming up, and that data will help governments as well as people to take informed decisions about their nutrition, about their lifestyle, about their longevity. So of course that is going to be there as a category. Digital health companies is going to be there. Then you see right now also is there, but in future it's going to grow, and that is cell therapy company. So you have CAR T cells as well as stem cells, which can be used in treating diseases like cancer. So yeah, that's another category of companies which we are going to see in the future. We have started seeing it right now also with Stempeutics in India, but more such companies are going to come up in the future. Now, having said that, we also are going to see 3D bioprinting based companies. Now, what are 3D bioprinting? You can really print your food, you could print your plant, you could print your cell or an organ completely. And that is going to be an amazing growth factor. And when it will be linked closely with synthetic biology, you will see amazing results. So all of this is going to come up in the next 10 to 12 years. And that's what is our analysis at Biotechnica. One more thing which we have always talked about is AI-based drug discovery companies. So right now you have drug discovery, which is happening inside the pharmaceutical companies. And right now what they're doing is they are tying up with AI companies. In future, what will happen is these AI companies themselves will become self-sustaining, and they'll start discovering molecules. So you will have IT companies really discovering molecules, not pharma companies, and then they'll be outsourcing it to pharma to produce it, right? So probably the pharma companies will become a backyard of developing manufacturing the molecule, while the IT companies will be developing the molecule. This is a completely new concept which is going to be seen in the future. Now, having said that, so far I have told you, I think 7 or 8 type of companies which will come in the future. But then there is going to be environmental factor. Like when we were kids, there was no need of air conditioner. We could survive in normal environment. But today, with global warming, increasing temperatures, you can see the summers are becoming so hot that majority of the people are going and opting for air conditioner. Why? Because environment is getting impacted. So that is where a new set of companies will come up that will be clean energy and environmental biotech companies. And these companies will focus on bio-based product to improve the environment, fix the environment, and create biodegradable plastics or biodegradable material, which will solve the current crisis which we are facing with e-waste as well as bio-waste. So that's the 9th one which I wanted to tell you. And then the next one is obviously an evergreen field which will see a lot of explosion in terms of your innovation, and that will be food tech based companies. So food biotech companies will grow, and many such companies I know in India are already working on many things. Like you have the vegan meat, like plant-based meat, and so that we don't need to kill animals, or we don't need to grow animals. We can just grow the meat in lab and sell it in the market. So lab to market approach in these companies will be there. So a lot of food biotech based innovation is going to be there, so that we can refrigerate. We don't need to refrigerate and the food remains as is without even adding preservatives, chemical preservatives. So all this innovations is going to happen. So in the next 10 years, if we look at, these are just 10 broad categories, but I'm really excited about how things are going to turn out. And why I'm excited is because we now have AI. So artificial intelligence is really accelerating all of these fields. It is giving me superpowers to individuals as well as professionals and companies to analyze data, come up with newer solutions, and get ahead of the competition. And all the companies are racing right now towards this new game, new era. And my suggestion to you is, if in case you are interested to grow in any of the fields, I think bioinformatics is something which you must learn. So coding for biologists is one we should get into. And if you're not interested in computers, you can always get into CRISPR or gene editing, then synthetic biology. And these are the areas of the future where growth is less, but it will explode in the next 10 years. A lot of investment it will attract. Now let's look at why you should get into a growing field sooner than anyone else. Is because, you see, if I ask you to go into marine biotechnology, that may not grow. But if I ask you to get into synthetic biology, it will grow. The reason being, it's the same concept which goes into the share market, that if a company is small, nobody is putting in money, you put the money and wait for 30 years. If that company grows, your shares grow, right? The same way, when you make a career in synthetic biology and we have a prediction that it is going to grow by 2,000% or I think 20,000% in the next 10 years, then you can be the #1 synthetic biologist in the world. Imagine. And that's the kind of growth you can see. So I think synthetic biology, CRISPR, bioinformatics are the fields of the future which you should invest in. And if you ask me, I'm super excited to see what you become in the future. So comment below what you want to become. How can Biotecnika help you, and what are the goals you have in your career? We'll certainly try to help. Thank you so much for watching this video. See you soon on the next one. Till then, keep shining, be futuristic. All the best.